Hello Glazers, Texas. This is Ben Rowell here, and I want to take a couple minutes and introduce you to Cliff Family Winery. Cliff Family Winery are the same people that make and produce Cliff Bars. They, within the last 10 years, they got into the wine business. They're a California-based company. Their winery is located in Napa, but they also produce fruit coming out of Mendocino County. In Texas, we're going to be bringing in 4 wines. 2 of the wines are what they call the Climber Series. The Climber Series that we're going to be carrying is a red wine as well as a Sauvignon Blanc. The red wine is a 5-variety blend, and the Sauvignon Blanc is predominantly from vineyards in Mendocino County. Both of these wines will be line priced, bottle cost somewhere between high $6 to around $8.50, depending upon the deal level that the accounts buy at. Now, for those with HEB stores, we do presently have in HEB in some of the stores. It's not in necessarily all the stores, but this is a package that the buyer for HEB is committed to working and trying, and it's called their pouch wines. There's 2 varieties here. There's a Cabernet and a Chardonnay. Both of these come in a 1.5 liter packaging, and obviously the pouch wines are, they give a low carbon footprint, which is really in sync with the founders and owners of the Cliff Bar Company, Gary and Kit. I've got a couple videos here that I want to show you, and I think what it really does is it gives a pretty good indication of what the culture, the mood, and the persona of what the Cliff Bar and the Cliff Family Winery are really all about.
About 5 minutes to 6 on the 2nd of October. We're here in the Twilight Zone. Got Gary over there getting ready to go. I think you guys are going to learn what the Epiphany Ride is all about.
Well, I would describe the Epiphany Ride as being the celebration of Gary's vision, which he calls his epiphany. And it started with this vision of a bar.
It's the founding story ride. Gary was just riding way too long one day and decided he couldn't eat any more power bars.
And basically he got back home from that ride and said, heck, I've got some family members that can help me out, I'm going to do my own. And spent a couple years just perfecting it and pulled it off.
It's amazing that one single moment could turn into so much as long as you follow through on that idea. It was one step after another, and it just kept going and going, and now we're kind of on this ride, so to speak, and we're hanging on to the reins.
One idea on a bike ride like this, the result now is he's employing hundreds of people and doing a lot of good for the community and the bigger picture.
The Epiphany Ride is about new discovery, and that's how Cliff Bar was born, was on a bike.
Having that story out there really keeps you going, because Gary was living in a garage when he was 35, and now he's got this amazing company that's doing amazing things for its people, for the community, for the planet. It's pretty cool.
So every year we get together now about the same time of the year, and we try to get everybody out to ride. I mean, the goal is just to get out and have good fun with the company.
It keeps me going every single year. This is what I shoot for. It gives me a goal to train for, but it's also a great chance to meet some great people.
How's the ride going, you guys?
This is a Gary ride, which means you're going to be doing a lot of dirt. You're probably going to get arrested a couple times. One year we rode through a blocked off road that was on fire. Seriously.
It's an incredible ride. The whole thing's an incredible ride. It does encapsulate the inspiration behind Cliff Bar. It's a beautiful thing, and it gets better every year. It's about tradition and remembering where we came from, but also brings us all together to remind us where we're going.
Well, as they say, it all started on a bike. Gary was living in a garage adjacent to his parents' house back around 1990. And Gary is really a modern-day Renaissance man and had very little belongings, but what he did have packed into this garage were really indicative of what he loved to do. Cliff Family Winery is really an expression of our owners, Gary Erickson and Kit Crawford. Kit and Gary live life really per their passions, and I think they very eclectically and very originally put those passions into their two businesses, both Cliff Bar and certainly their winery. Certainly responsible to the planet, but we make products that are people-friendly, that are not pretentious, and we've really woven that concept into our winery and notably our tasting room experience. We're a very open door, very welcome type of environment for people. And I think the thing about Cliff Bar is it's a very grassroots type of company. They take the product to the people. There's not a ton of glossy, lovely, magazine advertising, because they realize that it's the relationships that count, and building those relationships and being accountable for what you're doing. What we tell people that come in that may not be cyclists is, look, we are a place of passion. So if there's something in life that's driving you and inspiring you to do more than exist, we're the right place for you. The neat thing is we've developed a customized bicycle route map that we can immediately pull out. It's a great piece, a good segue for conversation, and we can point out anywhere from 6 to 8 rides that us locals love to do.
Your job as a winemaker, in my opinion, is to kind of shepherd wines where they need to go and not necessarily force them into a mold. And when you work with different vineyards, you figure that out. I mean, for me, it takes me 3 to 5 years to figure out the vineyard, and in the meantime I'm trying to figure out what barrels work with it and try to make it as easy as possible without, having to strip out excess tannins and so for me the first step is I'm real gentle about production. There's a certain energy about the company that lends itself to the outdoors and enjoying life and taking things as they come, and so that's kind of the company culture, and I think it translates into the wines. I mean, when you put the wines together, that's always in the back of your mind. I mean, after doing something all day long, do I want to sit down with a glass of this? And so that's kind of the approach I take.
Walking through a wall that's trying to hold my hand. I kept a misplaced heart as a backup plan. Can't you see what you've done to me? You let me believe that nothing takes away. You've got to stay somewhere in my heart. You've got to be all that you can be, and I've got to be all that I
Well, that's it. Not very difficult, not too terribly hard. There will be some incentives as we launch these 2 packages into the general marketplace out there. Thank you for your time. Good luck and good selling.